world famous, phenomenal violist, Sara Ferra ndez. I'm super excited. And first on deck to play for us, we have Santu. So Santu, introduce yourself and the piece you're going to be playing, and you can hop right in.
Okay, hi, I'm Santu, and I'm going to be playing the first two pages of York Bowen's first viola sonata. So,
Very nice. nice. Okay,
Thank
you
you.
hear me well right now?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I'm gonna start with the things that I really like. I really like your vibrato. I think is great that you already have such a wide vibrato, which I find is very hard. So that's amazing that you already have it. Bravo. Your intonation is also pretty good. And the tempo is very stable. So already those things are super important and you have them. So we're just gonna talk about some stuff that I think it's gonna help you to make it more for like a performance kind of thing. Okay. I would like that when you are in the low register of the viola, you go more into the string, because I see so far that you use the same bow stroke when you are in the A string or D string than when you are on the C. And your viola, the instrument sounds very good, and I think you could even help it to sound more round if you go a little bit more whenever you are on the lower register, a little bit more into the string. I think if you use a little bit more of bow on the C string and G, it's gonna help to make it more round, because whenever we are high in the A, we don't really need to do this kind of, because it already sounds by itself, right? Because it's very bright, like the, not like the violin, but you know. So the high register is pretty good. I think it's there. But try, for example, the very beginning is when I noticed that you could go more into the string. Try the beginning again.
Okay.
Also, I noticed, for example, now it's okay because we're in a lesson and it doesn't matter. But for you, for your future performances with this piece or another piece, because now I see that you are not so sure when you're gonna start playing. You're like, I'm gonna start, and then no, I'm gonna start, and then that makes the public like, oh, already already a little bit confused. So if you're not ready, take the time that you need, also because that also creates a nice atmosphere. You know, if you take a little, like just like a few seconds, you calm yourself down, and you just, whenever you're ready, and you just have to think the first bars, and then you go. Okay, try again.
Okay.
Thank you. That's much better. Now I could tell that you were gonna start, and I was there with you. Another, I mean, it's difficult to tell now through, you know, if I would be in person, I would be able to tell more. But especially now, because we're doing this over Zoom, I would like if you could exaggerate way more the dynamics. So for now, just tell me, you're with the score right now, right?
Yes.
So just tell me what says at the beginning, what kind of dynamic, what does it say?
Okay. So it's mezzo forte, and then three measures in, it goes to forte, and then before A we have fortissimo, and before that there's a crescendo into it.
Okay, good, because I could not hear that so much.
Okay.
The whole thing that you played, it sounded on a forte dynamic kind of
Right.
all the time. And I would like to hear, because it's such an interesting piece, how it's written, and it has a lot of also many repetitive elements. So if you play a little bit more with the dynamics, that's already gonna give you so much room to feel free. So try again and really exaggerate and think that we're, with the laptop and it's not the same as in person. So
Right.
try to over exaggerate it.
Okay.
I want to hear every little dynamic, every hairpin, everything. Very good. It's much better. When you have crescendo, you can play now because so the more you play, the more things I realize. So I tell you.
Right.
So I see that you don't really move from the middle part of the bow, and that also doesn't help dynamic wise. For example, whenever there's a crescendo, you can use your bow to do that. You don't really need to press. Actually, pressing is, I don't think it's gonna help you at all, because at the end what's gonna come out, it's not such a beautiful sound. So you could
Right.
just help yourself. Instead of pressing down, you can just add more bow. So I'll do like I will explain to you better in a scale so you can see what I
Yeah.
mean.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so for example, I'm gonna start from piano, and then I'm gonna try to do crescendo to forte, only using my bow, and that's it. That's one. I use the bow distribution. I don't know if you noticed, but I started less. And also another element that it goes together with the bow distribution is the speed. For example, I think it's very good what you do, but I'm just gonna tell you something, so maybe
Yeah.
it's gonna.
Yeah. Of course.
Um, I think if you give a little bit more of speed at the beginning of the notes, in forte dynamic, it's gonna help you for the sound to stay forte, because now I was hearing that whenever you were reaching forte, suddenly the sound was going away, like, if you use more speed at the beginning, you use more speed at the beginning, and then you start stopping, because otherwise you're gonna run out of bow if you do.
Okay.
Right? So the trick, it's like a little trick that I use. So I start with a little, but important is that you don't do accent. I'm not telling you to do an accent. So don't press down, just the speed a little bit faster at the beginning. You wanna try?
Okay. So use a little bit more speed at the beginning of the bow stroke and use more bow overall for those sections.
Exactly. Whenever, especially, I'm talking, this is especially when there's a crescendo going to forte. In piano, you're good with what you do. You can stay in the middle of the bow. That was fine. This is mainly for forte.
Okay. Should I start from the beginning?
Yeah.
Try that.
And try really to use. You were much better right now, but even more feel the lower register, use a little bit more bow. No pressure, but just more, instead of, don't think about the bow like this, because it is like this.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
like this.
Okay. Okay.
Go into the string. Now, for example, that repeats, for example, we have an element that repeats. It comes 3 times, right?
Yes.
So I want to hear, obviously, normally when composers write like this, it means that each time is a little bit more, right?
Right.
If we do the 3 times the same, we're not getting anywhere. So
It's a little, yeah, right. Okay.
And this is a perfect example where you can use those things that I just told you. You start less. Do it once slowly. I want to see if
just that measure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even faster the bow at the beginning, especially the 3rd time. Da 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 da. Very good. Very nice. How do you feel?
I was definitely very nervous in the beginning, but I think, after talking to you, I kind of the nerves kind of go away a little.
I understand. So. And just another thing that I noticed, and I think it's also important, the part where you play the chords. Okay. If you can do it with slower bow speed there, because chords are very, 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 very hard for me, at least always with chords, especially on the viola, not easy at all to hear every note of the chord. So don't rush at all and use more bow, and you can prepare it a little bit more. Play just where the chords are.
Is it like at the bottom of the 2nd page, that section?
I think so.
Okay. So slower bow and use more there. Okay.
Also think about this movement rather than this. This is not gonna give you much, but if you do from it's easier.
Okay.
A little bit slower if you can. And try that even though when you're hitting this note, the C is still resonant. So the important thing is that your bow, your weight, the weight of the bow, really it's good on the C string. You can even prepare it a little bit by starting from the string instead of
landing. Okay.
But really last second. Don't do like. But
okay.
There, and last second you.
Okay. I'll try.
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay.
Much better. Bravo. I don't know how much time I have with each of you actually.
That's about up for Santu. It's like 20, 25 minutes that we're working.
Can you could you stop me whenever?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just
no problem. All right, Santu, beautiful job. And up next we have Ricky. So Ricky, introduce yourself in the piece you're going to be playing for us.
Hi, Ricky.
Hello, I'm Ricky Cherry. I'm a senior in high school, and I will be playing the Capriccio by Vuitton.
Beautiful. Bravo. Bravo, Ricky. Very very nice. I actually really like to see you play. I don't know how did you feel?
I think all my nerves ran out during Sansu's masterclass. So I'm in a I feel like I'm in a much better position than I would have been in 20 minutes ago.
Being first is really hard. So for that,
Yeah, I have to congratulate Sansu on that.
but what I really like when I see you play is that, well, I don't know if it's true, but it's at least what you transmit to me, that you were really enjoying. Like I was like, oh, it's so beautiful, because I was looking at you and it seems like you were enjoying. So that's already something really positive to make people, to make the audience feel that way. It's not easy at all. So I think that's really strong point on your favor. So congratulations for that. That's really amazing. I really love this piece, and I think it's so beautiful. I'll work with you on a little bit on finding another kind of a little bit more quality of the sound, with the arpeggios, especially every time the theme comes. Since it's a piece that it's not with piano, and you have a lot of freedom. It's a caprice. You can do a little bit not whatever you want, but always respecting the structure and the rhythm. But you can take more freedom whenever something is a little bit more hard, or you need a little bit more time for the chord. you can totally do that, and nobody will notice that you're actually doing that because you actually need time to do that. it will it will seem like it's for musical reasons because it's very good written. And so I would start, I would do the chords with a little bit more calm, really starting on the C. It's so nice when a piece written for viola starts on the C, right? So we should really show that. You know, really like take time, at least the first time, because it repeats a lot, right, in different kind of situation. But the first time is really the first time you're showing this thing to everybody. So I would take all the time you need, and then from there you can start to, you know, every time it comes, then okay, I already played the theme, everybody knows how it goes, so I can just play around it a little bit more. But for the beginning, I would start a little bit more grounded, a little bit more sound wise. You know, it also is gonna make you feel so much better when you're performing it, because it's a virtuoso piece, and if we start a little bit like already, and then there's not really time to, you know, go back. And so really for the beginning, try. You can play with how you break the chords as well, differently. At the beginning you can do more arpeggiato each note, and then the next time it comes you can do, you know, you can play around it a little bit more. But let's try the beginning again. And also, sorry, before you start, I think it's gonna help you if instead if you, because I saw you started like this, I could see that you were very good prepared and everything, but for such a music, I think it helps a lot performance wise if you already start. Don't put the bow on the string, also because it starts on open string, so you don't really need to do that. Maybe you can just, if you feel comfortable with the viola already up, you can do that. Well, same thing that I told before, you take the time that you need, and then when you're ready, this is a piece where it's so nice also visually when you start from the air. So then you go, basically you go up a little bit with the bow, and then you just, natural weight of gravity will do the job for you, and it will sound much richer.
All right.
Slower, a little bit slower. Don't think horizontal like this. Always think like this. It's very hard, like I said before, because the bow is, look, it's a stick. It's very straight. That's why it's our job with the arm to do a little bit this. Otherwise, everything is gonna sound too aggressive. introduction of the theme, right? And now from here, I would like to hear a change of color, because it comes, something different comes right now. It's the second theme. So I would like, not, of course, I'm going to hear it because you're going to play it, but that you actually intend to, it's another character. You know, I want to hear something different from the beginning. So just start from there. Yeah, from the second theme. What do you think? How would you say, character-wise, is the difference between the first theme and the second? How do you want to do it different? Which one is more? I don't know. Just tell me what you think.
So I guess in the first section, it feels very. I guess if I put colors to it, I would make the first section like brown, like earthy color, and then
Like very rich and healthy, right? And round.
the second section, it's more like a romantic red velvety color, I think.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I totally agree. I think the second theme is also more positive, right? The first, it's kind of, it's dramatic a little bit. Right? And the second one is and then we go back to dramatic. Use these chords because they really go there. And also one more thing I want to tell you, this the fast notes are too fast. I cannot hear. I would like to hear every note. I know it's written very fast, but I still think you can take a little bit more of time. I want to hear. I want to hear a bit more. Instead of, I want you to sing it. Although it's fast, you also have to sing it. It's like this. Try again. Try from the beginning again. I want to hear every note here also. Take from there. And now, okay, we only have a little bit time left, but I'm gonna ask you same question as I asked before. What dynamic do you want? What are you playing? Tell me a little bit your thoughts.
So initially, I wanted the whole section until the forte, measure 13, to be relatively quiet, but then at the end, and then from then on, it goes into more open sound. But then I don't know. I've been listening to a whole bunch of recordings, and I'm like listening to you play it now, and I'm guessing that although it says piano in that section, it doesn't necessarily mean that the entire thing.
That's true. That's true. You could play everything one dynamic if you want, if you do extreme character changes. But now I hear all the same dynamic all the time, and I don't hear enough the character changes, so it stays a little bit everything the same. And since it repeats so much, you have to really work on that. Either you say, okay, this I'm gonna do clearly more piano, or this I'm gonna change the character completely, it's gonna be less dramatic. But we always think that we're playing something like piano or another character, but if we don't exaggerate it so much, the public doesn't get it. It's like when it's the same with dancers. That's why when you see dancers, it seems a little bit like, wow, they're moving so much, because they have to exaggerate everything so much. I have a friend that is a dancer, and whenever she dances close to me, I think like she's crazy. But whenever I go to see her perform, the movements are so natural and even small, like, and she's exaggerating so much in order for the audience to get a little something. So if you think you're playing piano, play even more piano, you know. I tell you, because we always think we're doing it, and we are doing it, but it has to be crazy exaggerate. Just think, after all, we're also actors and actresses, you know, we have to do our role, and we have to, so if this is angry, it's like really angry, you know, you have to really go for it. Okay, do it one more time, last time from beginning. Much better, much better. Now I can tell. Now it sounds really like I can tell. Okay, first part is forte, is round, is healthy, is dramatic, and then the second time you play, it's a little bit more, you know, delicate. Now I could tell, even through the laptop. So you have to keep working on that, okay?
Thank you.
Bravo.
Beautiful job, Ricky. All right. Next, we have Mr. Jake Kitchen playing for us. So, Jake, introduce yourself and what you're going to be playing for us.
Hello, my name is Jake Kitchen. I'll be playing the Exposition from Schubert's Arpeggione Sonata.
Nice. Very good. Bravo. Bravo, Jake. I think, I don't know if you agree, but I think this is one of the hardest pieces.
I do.
For also for cellists, for us, whew, it's so hard. So congrats, because it's actually quite good, and the intonation is very good, which is one of the hardest things of this piece. So you already are very good. For this, I would talk about mainly the bow, because the left hand works quite good. Also the vibrato, but I would start with the bow. I think it's more important for now. We have to try to imagine, it's impossible, but we have to pretend that our bow never ends. You know, that once we reach, so we start here, and once we reach here, it just sort of, imagine that it's like a circle. It's not one stick, but it's just like one circle that keeps going, because now I hear very clearly whenever it's down, whenever it's up. And I don't know if you notice, but that's makes an accent every time. And in this piece that is very singing and very delicate, it's full of long phrases, and that's what makes it so hard. You know, if it was like it would be easy, right? But I think what he wanted, it was more like a longer phrase. So we have to try to think that our bow is butter and it's melting with the string. It doesn't matter what bowings you do. You could do, I'm just gonna, I don't know what bowings I do either, but it's just the idea, okay? since we start, this whole thing until now should be like one bow. Imagine that we have one bow, like it's like, I don't know how long, 500 meters long, and we play all of that in one bow. It's exactly how it should sound. Wanna try?
Oh, sure. Oh, also for the vibrato, I was thinking of varying the vibrato, of course, but I see in some places that you like stop the vibrato and then it increases. So in those places, should I like be extra wary of that, just to like change the vibrato?
I wouldn't overthink it so much, because whenever I overthink about the vibrato, it never comes out how I want it. I would try to go with the dynamics that it says, and I would try to work with the phrase, but not whenever I'm like, okay, I'm gonna vibrate this note and this note and this note, yes, and this note, no, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
If I see something in the vibrato that I think it doesn't go, I will tell you, but I think so far it was fine.
Okay.
For example, try to do a little bit smaller the vibrato, because it's gonna help you timing wise, because now you're almost late to the next phrase, not the next phrase, but the next element, because the vibrato is very wide, and that makes it a little bit of a, not a struggle, but it takes time to do the next. So if you try to make it a little bit tighter, like instead of more like in the place, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I understand.
Instead of, because that's for sure gonna make us late when we play with the piano.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Very good, much better. And now for what it comes, try to use less bowing whenever this element comes. Instead of, you don't need that much. You can just do, and then again it repeats. I find it nice if you vibrate in this one. And same, you don't need much bow here either. But add a little bit more for the crescendo. And then again, less bow.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. Okay.
Something that's gonna help you, because the stroke that you're doing right now, it's very in the romantic style. So for the classic, it's better if you do, instead of, you have to shape it a little bit more. But Also, that's careful because when I think it was here, I saw that you were doing the classic stroke, like exactly what I'm saying, but you were throwing the bow here. No, you have to always have some sort of control. Don't throw the ball, but same here. We lift, but we control. Instead of no accent also. That's what makes classical so difficult, all this.
Understood. Yeah. So I also saw that section at B with the bow.
Yeah, to me.
Yeah. So don't. Okay, I see. I got it.
So
Okay.
so there's, it's very simple. It's up and down, right? You have to also prepare it because if you throw it, it's gonna lose intensity in the music. If you don't, you have to.
Yeah. Okay.
Really go for it. Really go for it. Can take a tiny bit of time to prepare. Much better.
I see. Okay, great.
Do you have any questions? Any something or?
Yes, I actually do have a question. So I actually just switched to a 15 and a half from a 16 and a half. So I was just wondering what things technically I would need to change that were like very obvious with the size difference.
So because I don't know the measure, it's from the US. So in centimeters, you basically change to a bigger viola, right?
I changed from a bigger viola to a smaller viola, actually.
You
Some
changed to a smaller viola.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel more comfortable? How
I
you
do,
feel?
definitely, yeah.
Very good. The only thing I would recommend you, I think the sound is pretty good on this viola. I really enjoyed the low register. I was quite impressed. Um, so that's great because small violas are not famous for that. That's something. Although you have a good instrument, you still have to keep in mind that it's smaller than the one you had before. So don't get too comfortable because it sounds good. Always work on the lower as if it was bigger than it is.
Interesting.
And I don't know. For me, I see that it fits you, and I see um, that you feel comfortable, right?
Yes, definitely. Because my bigger one, it was like all the way. It was 16 and a half. It was a on 419 centimeters, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
So I definitely went a lot smaller just to feel more comfortable, and the facility, the left hand facility, is greatly improved. So I feel a lot more comfortable, definitely.
That's good. When did you do the change?
2 months ago.
Ah, that's great. And do you feel like you're already used to the instrument?
I would say, yeah, scales, etudes, all that really gave me, got me into it. So.
That's great. Yeah, for me, I didn't see like, oh, some not struggling or anything. No, left hand seemed quite good. Then I can tell then, now that you mentioned that, it makes sense about why you play with this wide vibrato, because you had a bigger viola.
Yeah.
Uh, so then that's the thing I would work on the most. You don't need that vibrato on that viola.
Mhm.
Try to, I mean, it will come with time, but keep in mind to keep it a little bit more in place, because
Tighter.
with the, so yeah, with a bigger viola, you just need, you have to do it, right? But for this piece, I mean, maybe if other time you play other piece, a romantic piece, then we would see about how the vibrato comes out. But for this piece, just a little bit more resonance vibrato rather than movement. Just like I could show you better if we are in person, but when you do a little bit tighter, um, the overtones like come out much better. I don't think it goes through with the laptop microphone, but it still resonates a little bit more than if I do, you know,
Mhm.
for this piece, for this piece. So everything that I said for the piece, this classical style, because then if you play Brahms or something, I'll probably tell you something completely different. So
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for that. Yeah.
bravo, bravo.
All right. So before we wrap, students stay on the call while I stop the stream. But thank you everyone else that was able to join us this afternoon to listen and highlight some of our senior, juniors, and alumni violists from ISO. So thank